Okay. I'm feeling this background music. Real vibey. I have music on this. I'm doing my episode. All right, so this is going to be the second before last episode of Market ObservAnalysis before we take what I'm going to call the Great Migration over to a whole different platform. Back in 2021, NADEX was acquired or purchased by Crypto.com for like $216 million. And when they made the announcement roughly almost 5 years ago, nothing had really changed with the platform. And then last week, on the morning of that Thursday last week, there was an announcement that NADEX was going to be decommissioned and all of its activities were going to be moved on to the Crypto.com platform. Now, for me, of course, I didn't like the announcement because technically I'm officially here. I'm at the point where any product that I demonstrate can be collected for revenue. Now, the sad news is that my project was intended to go, let's see, how many more demonstrations? 5 more demonstrations, I believe, before I started to take my revenue and keep it. So I'm a little sad that I won't be able to finish the entire project, but I guess a little bit of bittersweet news is that, number one, I do have a new product to show you guys that was just taken just about an hour ago. And then number two, who knows what next week could bring? On average, for the past 2 years, which is about how long I've been working on this project, I've averaged roughly 1 trade every 4.5 to 5 weeks. That's been my average. And the idea was to be so picky with maintaining a certain quality that you would be able to rewatch the series of demonstrations and visually learn the skill that I've been refining over the past few years to shorten your learning curve significantly so you're not having to go through the same issues that I went through. That was my goal. But now, as we head into this second before last episode, I'm still trying to decide what I want to do with this bankroll that I've built. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. What I'm leaning towards is starting a freshly new project to showcase the skill on the Crypto.com platform when the migration takes place. That's what I have on my mind. But there's a part of me that, because I've gotten as far as I've gotten over the past 2 years, there's a part of me that wants to keep this and move it all the way over to the Crypto.com platform and carefully maintain that same product and be that much closer to the income phase. The only dissonance that I have with that is that I don't like the idea, even though this is technically a transfer, I just don't like the idea of making large deposits. So a part of my logic is that I've built this harvest here, and the harvest is big enough where the seeds can feed me. Do I transplant this plant over to the new platform, or do I just, having demonstrated great skill cultivation, plant a new seed and harvest this one for whatever else I need to do as an investor and all that good stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at. But for today's episode, what we're going to do is first I'm going to show you the demonstration. And then what we're going to talk about is what I was planning to talk about last week, leading up to this week, before the news came, which is what I call the ROM pop. The ROP pop. The ROP pop. So keep that in mind. We'll come back to that in a second. Let's go ahead and take a look at what type of product am I building this course with. So let's bring up our product here. All right. Let's take a look at it.
Was it good one?
Oh, I didn't know.
You have the date.
Hold on. I didn't realize I had sound on there. Let me fix that. All right, let's try that again. Okay. So we're looking at the ROP, range of position, and the POP, progression of price. Range of position, progression of price. Let's take a look at the range of position first. We have so far a range of 2 micropips. And what I'm waiting for is for that micropip to confirm away from the green line that acts as the floor of this position. The floor of the position is in the buy zone. And without hesitation, I enter. Now, one of the things that is kind of questionable here is because I wasn't getting filled, I deleted the order, tried to delete the order, but by the time I was in the middle of clicking, I was filled into the order, partially. The only thing that I'll admit is that, first of all, this is a solid product. The only thing that, was a little iffy was I did see a couple of wicks here, right? And those are indicators of instability. But even with that instability, that position and the floor was solid, and the floor had never been violated. So there was really no reason for me to delete the order at all. That's something that I need to continue to work on. Now I want to pay attention to the POP. We looked at the ROP, the range of position. Now let's take a look at the progression of price. So we're seeing 76, 79, 85, 86, 85, 84, 87, 77, 83, 79. You can see how it's hanging out in kind of a general area. And that area is friendly to the type of margin that we're looking for on a profit. So we're looking for a 20% profit, right? So if you subtract any of these numbers from 10, then you're going to be around that 20% zone. But what needs to happen is that the position needs to confirm. What's showing is that the price is leading the position. The price is leading the position because the progression of the price had moved past that 20% margin point, which is 80. We're looking for those, the numbers in the 80s, floating in the 80s. It had gone past that threshold point before the confirmation came. Typically, we're looking to see a ROP, range of position, confirm as the pop, the progression of price, moves toward and past the threshold, that 20% profit threshold. What you'll see, and I'm going to see if I can get it up and going by next week, but if not, then the week after on the new platform, because we're going to be looking at the same thing, but it does look a lot different. So let's pay attention just to the ROP and pop for this exercise. And from this point on, I want you to be able to listen to this and train audibly. So let's take a look at this current binary. Set a line right jump. The current range of position, starting at the binary, lowest point, 43. Current highest point, 48. The ROP, range of position, is currently 5 micropips. We still have 3.5 minutes left in the binary, so we have plenty of time for the market to show us something different. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a rectangle that highlights the position, or the ROP, until it changes. Keeping that same ROP so far. The relevant strike here is 735. Okay. The candle that we're on right now is touched 49. So the range of position has widened for the binary from a ROP of 5 to a ROP of 6. Keeping that in mind. So that means that if there's a ceiling in place, the ceiling is at 49. It's not very well established, but that's what the range of position has shown us so far. Bringing up the ticket, we're going to go ahead and record this one. If it violates 49, then that tells us that there's nothing else for us to do. But for now, $49, $48. We're looking at the progression of the pricing. The progression of the pricing has already gone far past our threshold of 20%. It's actually being led. The market is being led by the pricing, meaning that the pricing is, I think of it as somebody in a relay race, and the position has to hand the baton off to the price. But in this case, the price is running away before the position can catch up to it. And that's what's happened here. And so when you're in a relay race like that, to try and remedy when the hand-off runner starts too early is they'll slow down and mess up the rhythm of the run. and that can cause a disqualification. In this case, it looks like the market has maintained its range of position, which is a good sign for us to keep in mind for the next binary. But for this, we did not see a solid pop. We did not see a steady pop, a steady progression of price. We saw the price outrun the position. All right. We're on the 1130 binary. Right now, way early in the binary, the lowest point right now so far is at 346. The highest point is at 349, and the market just aggressively broke that ROP. The market is showing some instability here, and the range of position has widened from 6 in the last binary to the lowest point being at 341, and the highest point being at 354. So the ROP, or the range of position, on the 1125 binary was 6. The range of position on the 1130 binary, 13. So the range of positioning has doubled. And it looks like it's still growing. So we're obviously unraveling. Transitioning into another place, or another cycle of behavior. All right, range of position here. Well, first of all, okay, well, let's just look at it. Highest point 354, lowest point 336. We have an 18 micro pip range of position with no pricing available. And even if it was available, the range of position includes 3 positions. It includes the buy at 735, the sell on 735, and then the top of the buy on strike 733. Nothing for us to do. Current position of the market is 338. Between 350, 7350, and 330, 7330. Nothing for us to do here, but we'll just take a log of the ROP. big movements, we need the range of position to tighten, because that right there, we can't do nothing with that. Big range of position. I see somebody just jumped in, just for the sake of my own learning and your own viewing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show what the most recent income building product looked like, because this is going to give us an example of the type of range of position that we want to see and the type of progression of price that we want to see too. So let's bring that up for the paper. All right. All right, here we go. All right, range of position, the ROP right here, 30. Pay attention to 335. 335. We're going to watch this twice. 337. So right now, the range of position is 2 micropips. 335, 337, that's 2 micropips. The floor is on this green line, 334. Now, as we're approaching that 1 minute point, I want you to look at the progression of the price. 76, 77, 89, 94, 93, 94. Even in this product here, we can see that the price is leading the position. It's nearly outrunning the position. And so in these cases, it's usually unlikely that you'll get filled. And it's also an indication that there could be some instability lurking around the corner. But in this case, even though there was instability, as you can tell by some of these wicks that you see here, the integrity of the position was stronger than the instability of the movement. So that worked in our favor. Well, that's a solid product, even though there was a little bit of something in there. All right, let's take a look at what we got. All right, so what's the ROP? Can I move this out the way? Okay, the ROP. Lowest point 339, highest point 355. So the market is in 2 different positions. It's in a buy and in a sell position. So we can't really do anything with this as it relates to a trade. But we'll take a look at the progression of the pricing and see what we think it's going to do. So far, the market has been leading by price. So just because this 87, 76, 71, 64, 63, 62, 58. So I'm thinking it was going to go back into the sell unless we get some instability. 32, 36, 28. Is it going to progress downward and continue on? 40, 43, 47. Okay. 30, 32, 41, 37, 38, 62. Back and forth 60, 63, 64. So now we're back on the buy side. Some straddling going on here. the ending behavior seems to be sticking. That's something to take note of. All right, so we have, in that binary, we have 339 as the lowest, 355 as the highest. So we have a 16 micropip range of position, or ROP. And then the progression of pricing was somewhat erratic, and it was, price dominant, meaning that the price dominated the position. We want them to move together. We don't want one dominating the other. When they're dominating the other, then then that means that they're not fully in sync with one another. All right, let's chill out here for a bit. All right, so far we're at the 3-minute mark, and let's take a look and see what that range of position, what that ROP looked like. So far we have the highest point at 353, and we have the lowest point at 348, which means that we're in two positions. We're in the buy and sell position, so we don't like that. We'll draw our rectangle, and let's see if the range of position holds its place. We know that there is no trade for us, because the position of this potential trade is in two different positions. So nothing for us to do from that perspective. Let's take away the strikes. Let's take a look at the progression of pricing, the pop. Ooh, from 87 to 55. Ooh, well, we're not at the countdown point yet, but looks like the sellers are dominating. All right, let's take a look now. 31, 21, 24, 30, 16, 12, 20, 26, 23, 24, 28, 30, 20, 36, 18, 22, 14, 22, 14, 7, 10, 13, 10. We got a confirmation move from the sellers, but that 23, 26, 27. So the pricing is going in and out of that range that we're looking for, that 20% margin range. On the sell side, that's at 2, and on the buy side, that's at 8, or in the mid teens or the mid 80s for the buyers. But in this case, it's going down and up and down and up, which makes sense because the position is on the strike. So it's straddling the fence. All right, and it just broke out of that range of position too. So we can expand that range of position from lowest point 46, highest point 53. So that's a 7 micropip range of positioning. All right, we're about a 3-minute point. Let's take a look at that good old ROP, baby. Lowest point 46. Highest point 54. We're still straddling the 7350 strike. 346 is the bottom. 354 is the top. So we're in 2 positions once again. And compared to the last binary, the range of positioning has gone up from 7 to 8. So a slight widening of the range of position. All right, let's take a look at that progression of pricing. Let's see if the pricing is still leading the position. Right now we're in the sell position. And even before we even start our count, the pricing is already gone out of range past that 20%, mid-teens to the 20s. We're at 7. We're at 2. 8, 3, 2. So way out of range. 7, 2, 12. 10, 11, 6, 10, 2, 10, 3, 10. Or that's 1, I mean. 7. Let's see if it'll break its range of position. Pricing is coming right back in. All right. 48, 46, 46, 46, 47. All right, so we have a nice solid range of positioning. The only, like, if this was under a strike or over a strike, I would feel 100 times better with taking this one, because number one, we don't have any wicks and the position is sticking. We'll watch a few more. We'll watch it on the phone too, kind of see what it looks like there. Straddling the 350. Now this is actually a really good exercise here. What I want to start off with, there's two places that I would think to start, but I'm going to start off right here at the bottom of this second candle. And that's at 349. Now, if it goes below that, then the next spot would be right there at 346. Okay. All right, let's take a look at that progression of pricing. 230, 220, 30, 210, 14, 22, 26, 31, 19, 23, 27, 17, 25, 27, 25, 32, 25, 31, 20, 28, 16, 28, 27. I want to see if this market moves at all from 349 to 348. Nope. Nope, not at all. Let's see if it maintains the range of position at least. 346 all the way to 355, so that's a 9 micropip range of positioning. Instability there. Got a couple more. This one, this binary here, this 1155 looks to be a transitioning binary. All right, let's take a look at that range of position so far. We're still transitioning. Top of the position's at 53. We could technically put it here at this second candle at 345. There we go. $345 top, 333. So that's a 12 micro pip range of positioning, and that's at the minimum. If we're really being honest, we can go all the way to the very start. So we're in a transition, obviously. Okay. All right. So we are see something. Is there a way you can stop asking me that? Okay, so I need to be early on that one. Okay. So, range of positioning on that one, that 1055. Oh, whoops. Went from as high, it started at as high as 353 and went all the way down to 321. So that's this right here, what we're looking at right here, this is a transition. And just to go back a little bit from when we started our analysis, I don't know why those rectangles are missing, but right here we had a range of positioning of, let's see, 353 down to as low as 346. So that was a 7 micropip range of position. And then here, 346 is the bottom, 354, that's an 8 micropip range of position. And then here, 346 to 355, that's a 9 micropip range of position. So the market's positioning is getting wider and more loose until it finally transitions to where it's at now. And what needs to happen is for it to kind of reestablish a tightening range of position versus a loosening range of position. All right. Market's transitioning back upward. Still transitioning, obviously. All right, so now let's take a look and see what the range of position for this one is. Bottom point 319, top point 342. So we're looking at 23. That's 3 positions worth of movement So we're still in transition. One thing that I'm noticing though is that it's smaller than the binary before. So I'm really interested to see if the market's range of position continues to shrink back.
Me?
All right, so now this is the relevant strike here at 7330. We're 3 minutes in, or 2 minutes in. We got 3 minutes remaining. So far, topmost point 342, bottom point 326, so that's 16 micropips. We could be shrinking our range of position. All right, we're at this 330 strike. We'll take a look at the progression of price here. All right, we're right on the strike. I don't like that. We need the position to kind of decide if it wants to be a buyer or a seller. Now it looks like it's going to be a buyer. A little instability in the price, but the price is maintaining. Okay. 74, 75, 79. Is the position gonna kind of move back away from the strike in favor of the buyer? 77. $78. No confirm. No confirmation. Couldn't have done anything there. Okay, 342, 326. Okay, but we are seeing a smaller range of position. Okay, this will be our last one. even if this one does tighten up nicely, it's on the strike and in the buy. So it's on the buy and sell. So it's not giving us enough momentum to be in two different positions and give me, confidence in it moving into and staying inside of or moving through a position. It's still in a straddly type of behavior. But right now, early into the what is this? The 12-10 binary, 12-15 binary. Lowest point is 330, highest point 335. So I do like that, but still early in the binary. Damn loud ass. Yeah, this one's going to be a nothing burger. But range of position, it touches that sell, but it's primarily in the buy. And it is getting tighter, or at least it looks like it right now. We still have 2 minutes left. If it breaks out of this wall, 739. Okay, it is breaking out. But by how much? No pricing. All right. Last range of position starts at, our floor is at 330. Highest point is at 345, so 15. So we have a shrinking range of positioning, but we're still transitional in the behavior, and it really hadn't been too much for us to really, love on. But we'll see what happens next week. I'll keep the charts on, and if something comes up, great. But after that, we're going to be transitioning over to crypto.com as the new platform. In the meantime, hope you got something from it. And until next time.